Georgie and Mandy's First Marriage Season 2 has been full of surprises, but its ending might be the most intriguing one yet, especially for longtime young Sheldon fans. The finale doesn't just close a chapter in Georgie and Mandy's story, it breaks a long-running young Sheldon tradition. And in doing so, it sets the perfect stage for something fans have been quietly hoping for: Sheldon's comeback. If you've been following young Sheldon and now Georgie and Mandy's First Marriage, you probably noticed how young Sheldon loved to end its seasons with emotional, reflective moments, often narrated by adult Sheldon from The Big Bang Theory. That voiceover became a signature part of the series, tying Sheldon's memories to the events we saw unfold on screen. But Georgie and Mandy's First Marriage Season 2 does something completely different. It breaks away from that reflective storytelling style, choosing instead to end with an open, forward-looking moment that feels intentionally unfinished. The final episode closes on Georgie standing outside his store late at night after a long and emotional day. There's no narration, no reflection, just silence and uncertainty. The show leaves him at a crossroads, professionally and personally. And while that might seem simple, it's actually a powerful shift. By dropping the reflective voiceover format, the spin-off distances itself from Sheldon's perspective. It gives the audience the sense that this story now stands on its own. But paradoxically, that's exactly why Sheldon's return suddenly feels more likely than ever. Here's why this change matters. Young Sheldon was always told through Sheldon's lens, his memories, his thoughts, his commentary on his family's lives. Georgie and Mandy's show, though set in the same world, has been about everyone except Sheldon. It's been about Georgie learning how to be a husband and a father, about Mandy balancing her ambitions with family life, and about the Coopers trying to rebuild after George Sr.'s death. By Season 2, the spin-off had fully found its identity. But now, ending without that nostalgic, reflective tone feels like a quiet invitation, a narrative gap just waiting for Sheldon to step back in and comment on how everything has changed. It's easy to forget that The Big Bang Theory and young Sheldon both framed Sheldon as someone deeply introspective. He often revisited moments from his past, sometimes with guilt, sometimes with warmth. If Georgie and Mandy's First Marriage continues beyond Season 2, it's possible that the writers are saving a Sheldon appearance for an emotional turning point, maybe even as a narrator again, reflecting on his brother's growth. The decision to end Season 2 without closure might be deliberate, a setup for Sheldon to bring that emotional closure in Season 3. There's also a practical side to this theory. Jim Parsons, who played Sheldon in The Big Bang Theory and voiced older Sheldon in Young Sheldon, has remained involved as an executive producer. His return to narrate or even appear in person wouldn't just make sense narratively, it would also bring huge fan attention back to the spin-off. Fans have already been speculating that if Georgie and Mandy's First Marriage wants to honor its roots, it can't ignore Sheldon forever. His presence looms large, and this tonal shift at the end of Season 2 feels like the perfect cue for him to finally step into the story again. But beyond the idea of a cameo or narration, Sheldon's potential comeback carries emotional weight. Georgie's journey through Season 2 has mirrored some of the same struggles we saw in Sheldon's story: learning independence, facing family loss, and finding identity outside his comfort zone. It would be poetic for Sheldon to look back and recognize that his big brother, the one he used to tease for not being smart, actually became the emotional backbone of the family. That kind of acknowledgement would tie both shows together in a deeply satisfying way. Another interesting detail is how Georgie and Mandy's First Marriage Season 2 subtly reintroduces elements from young Sheldon's tone, moments of quiet sadness, humor mixed with grief, and nostalgic callbacks to the Cooper household. It's almost as if the writers are softening the transition for Sheldon's eventual re-entry into the story world. The Coopers' lives are changing. Missy is figuring herself out, Mary is trying to move on, and Georgie is realizing that adulthood is more complicated than he ever thought. Sheldon coming back, even briefly, would connect all those arcs in a way that feels full circle. By ending Season 2 without the traditional narration, Georgie and Mandy's First Marriage signals that it's ready to evolve. It's outgrown its origins, but it hasn't forgotten them. And that balance, independence with reverence, is what makes a Sheldon return not only possible but meaningful. So, while Season 2 closes quietly, that silence feels intentional. It's not the end, it's a pause. A moment of calm before a potential shift back to the family dynamic that started it all. And if that shift includes Sheldon re-entering the picture, whether as a narrator or an on-screen cameo, it would feel like a natural next step. After all, every Cooper story, from The Big Bang Theory to young Sheldon, has always been about connection. In the end, Georgie and Mandy's first marriage may have broken a young Sheldon tradition, but in doing so, it opened the door for something even more exciting. If Season 3 brings Sheldon back into the fold, it won't just be a nostalgic cameo. It'll be the long-awaited emotional bridge between past and present, uniting the Cooper family one more time. For more videos, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to my channel.